Hello, I am Cheese Jams, and this is my Damageless World Peace submission run for Speedruns for Trans Liberation. Today I'm going to be going through the Damageless World Peace route I made, and showing you the safest moons to get and the safest way to kill all the World Peace bosses and get into postgame without taking a single hit of damage anywhere. So yeah, let's get into that. 3, 2, 1, go. First thing I should say is I think a good estimate for this run is probably like an hour 45-ish, maybe an hour 50 at the extreme most. I really don't see myself getting over an hour 45 here, though. It's probably much less than that. But if things go really wrong and I kind of play a little bit slow in places, an hour 45 would probably be a good estimate. But yeah, first thing I should know is you probably saw that I'm playing in English instead of Japanese, and that's just because it helps me a lot in postgame. I'm not going to be showcasing postgame in this video or in this run, but just know that in postgame it does help me for the Sphinx quizzes and the Pauline quiz and all those types of moons in postgame. That way I don't have to have like a note sheet up telling me what the answers are. I can kind of just read the screen. That is the only reason. Okay, let's get started. Cap Kingdom. You're going to see me rolling a lot throughout the entire run. That is the first thing you're probably going to notice here, because Cap Kingdom has a lot of rolling, and that is because rolling is the fastest piece of movement in the game. I cannot go any faster than when I am rolling, unless I have like a rocket flower or something, but those instances are very rare, and you won't see that during the, I guess you'll see it once in Woodhead, but that's it. Okay, going over, capturing this frog. The safety shots for the frog are pretty simple. As long as you're holding forward on the control stick, you are completely safe as the frog. I'll be doing some little vector jumps here just to speed up my movement a little bit, because they're not really risky at all. And yeah, as long as you're holding forward as the frog, you can't bonk or anything. I am going to grab this checkpoint here, because it does help me for post-game. That way I can just warp to it whenever I get to post-game. But yeah, for the world peace portion, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's kill Topper here. Pop him just like that. Use a long jump and a cap throw. Step on the hat. Start capping against the wall. Knock off those hats just like that, and nice and easy. Definitely the easiest boss on the whole run. Let's say this guy is pretty much a joke. And that's Cap Kingdom done nice and quickly here. Done, and I want to... Yeah, that's a 223 cap. Not too bad. Pretty nice. Pretty good. Okay, the next kingdom now is Cascaded Kingdom. And we're just going to hop right into this. We're going to go straight up to Madame Brood here, because that is the only boss we really have to worry about. So let's go there. Oh, drop that input there. Sometimes that can happen. I tried to go for a spin pound to start the kingdom, but I dropped the input. That's okay. Just going to safely capture that chomp like that a little bit quickly. That way he can't chomp at me at all or anything. And then we're going to grab that first moon, just like that. First moon of 124 total we will see collected in this speedrun here. Okay, we're going to go forward here and trigger another cutscene where Kappa will explain to us that we have to collect moons to restore the Odyssey, and then we will throw Cappy onto the globe to bank those moons. And then we're going to go quickly right up here to this dinosaur. I'm going to throw Cappy to capture him. And then we're going to take this dinosaur, ram him against the wall a little bit here, and then bounce off that trampoline to get some height, cap throw, and then dive. And I bonked there. That is not... Okay, so what happened there was I hit... There's one spot on that wall where the cutscene doesn't trigger for some reason. The cutscene trigger is kind of wonky, and sometimes that can happen, but that's okay. We'll just do it again. Come up here. And then I'm going to capture that chain chomp. And then I'm going to collect coins here. The only reason I'm doing this is for post-game, like I said. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to throw Cappy out. Bop him once with Cappy, and then backflip into the chomp to stop it in place and quickly capture it, skipping the phase entirely. I do think this is the easiest and safest way for this boss, at least for me personally, because I do come from a little bit of a speedrun background, so some of the strats I'm going to do are speedrun strats. where I'm comfortable and where I think they're consistent, and this is definitely a spot where I think they're consistent. And on the off chance I do get hit, I can just quickly reset in like attempts and stuff. Obviously not the marathon, but for whenever I'm doing like my daily attempts of Damageless, I could just reset, but very rarely do I reset in Cap or Cascade. It's like 1 in a couple hundred attempts probably. It's very rare. It doesn't happen anymore. Ever. A lot of this run is just very consistent. Me and my friend Dan Marchetti, have really optimized this category and made it super consistent. At least this world peace portion is super consistent. Now I personally think this chest moon right here is a little bit safer than the one above the cliff. So I'm going to be going for this. And I'm going to backflip and throw Cappy at a precise timing here so I can clip out of bounds and get up to the globe just a little bit quicker there. That's what we like to call a moon clip. That's what the community calls a moon clip, at least. And whenever you backflip and then throw Cappy right before the cutscene, it will kind of warp Mario up a little bit. And that'll be enough to push him out of bounds. And then I just threw Cappy and dove to get up back inbound and then bang Cappy on the globe. On to Sand Kingdom now. Sand Kingdom is the first kingdom where world peace is kind of optional. That this Cap and Cascade, they were kind of mandatory to move on. I killed the bosses and moved on because I had to. But this kingdom is the first one where you can kind of opt out of world peace if you want to. And this is why world peace and any percent are two different categories in this game, because you don't need to kill every boss to move on with the run. They're kind of, some of them are optional, like Harriet and Knuckle Tech here, both the bosses I'm going to fight in this game are completely optional, and the any percent speedrun does not do them. But I'm showing off the Damageless world peace, so we're going to go ahead and kill both of them while getting as many safe moons as I can. So I'm going to grab this checkpoint, like I said, post-game reasons, doesn't really matter. And then we're going to get this first moon here, overlooking. And then we're going to long jump out this way. Oh, I messed that up a little bit. I messed up my fast mid-air movement a little bit, but no biggie. I can do that. And get the bird. And then we're going to go into this pipe because it's another safe moon. And then a ground pound right here. Spawn this moon. The intended way to find that moon is just use the rumbles and controller with the Pro controller, but I have the location memorized. And then we're going to roll up here to the dune. If I just roll straight ahead here, I know there's no cacti in my way, so we're fine. And then, this is another thing I should mention. What I'm doing here to spawn these ground pound moons is I'm spinning the control stick twice, and then just doing the regular ground pound inputs, and that gives me a spin pound, which just saves a couple frames over a ground pound. Yeah. And then this another moon that's safe and kind of in my way is this moon right here. Then what I'm going to do next here is what I like to call, or what the community likes to call, I should say, the dram shot. I'm going to backflip up here, long jump. I messed it up, but what I can do there if I nail it is I can warp with I can warp up with the bullet bill, but that's okay. This gives me an opportunity to show off the backup as well of going on this icicle. There we go. This is a good backup, I'd say. And then I'm gonna grab this moon because it's kind of here and safe. And then I'm gonna capture this bullet bill right here, and we're gonna go over to the inverted pyramid. Okay, I think this is the safest way to get world peace in this kingdom. I'm gonna slide against this wall, ground pound, and then roll, and then cancel the roll immediately to clip through the wall, and skip the round tower and the shards area, because I do not want to have to do those areas if I don't have to, because they are definitely on the riskier side. Now I got kind of a slow cycle here, so I'm gonna wait for this build to pass, and I'm gonna jump up here, then I have to wait for one more set of bills to pass. There we go. Then I'm going to slowly walk so I don't run into the bills. Then I'm going to crouch under that set. And then we're going to enter the pipe here. I think running with Mario in this section makes it easier. Typically in 2D sections, I walk with Mario unless I absolutely have to run, but I think the cycles with the Goombas line up better if I run there. And this moon is a little bit out of the way and a little bit slow, but I do like to get it just because it makes my life in post-game easier so I don't have to go back into the inverted pyramid and grab it later. A lot of the moons I'm going to show make post-game a little bit easier as well, so that's why I'm going to show them. And typically there's some fancy speedrun movement I could do here where I long jump with Mario, but I'm just going to opt to capture the bill because it's pretty much the same speed, not much slower at all, and it's safer for sure. And I'm going to make sure to dive safely here, cap bounce over that cactus in the middle, and then we're going to start up the Harriet boss right here. Now what I like to do here is I like to cap through and dive to my right here because it gives me a slightly faster Harriet cycle. She'll throw the first bomb a little bit quicker. And there's no risk to doing the faster cycles here at all. It doesn't add any additional risk. Oh, Cappy didn't home in there. That's the thing that happens in this run. Sometimes Cappy doesn't cooperate and home into stuff I want him to, but I can just wait out that cycle by going to the back wall here, and Harriet will never come near me. And I'm going to jump and throw Cappy there to hit the bomb right back into her immediately. I'm going to spin throw to get the coins here because no reason not to. And then I'm going to spin throw with Cappy to hit that bomb because the spin throws reach just a little bit further than the homing cap throws typically do. I'm going to jump through Cappy. And I'm going to dive on Harriet's head, and that's Harriet, just like that. Harriet is probably the easiest world peace boss I'm going to do, or like the optional world peace boss I'm going to do, because she's just not a challenge. Most of the barrels are pretty easy. But that is the first half of Sand World Peace completed here. Now, we're going to skip a couple cutscenes, and then I'm going to show you the safest way to enter the hole in the desert here, which is where I need to go to fight Knuckletech, which is the next boss we're going to do. And I think the safest way to enter the hole is to use Jaxi, because during Night Sand, you're going to see while I'm riding Jaxi that there are a lot of mummies that spawn, and the mummies can kind of get in my way, and if I hit one of the mummies, I will take a hit of damage, which is obviously not what I want for a Damageless speedrun. So we're going to buy Jaxi here, pay 30 coins, which is fine. I have more than enough coins for that. So I'm going to buy Jaxi, and then we're going to go into the inverted pyramid. And you'll see that Jaxi just completely mows these mummies down. Not a problem. Completely safe. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. And the hole is just where this big light is if you need trouble, if you have trouble finding it. Just where this big light is. I kind of have the route memorized because I've done it so many times over. We're going to get 2 moons in the underground here before I go and fight Knuckletech. We're going to long jump and then cap bounce because safe enough. Sometimes I do opt to like jump over gaps if I think it's a little bit quicker and it's safe enough. We're going to safely capture this Goomba stack from afar. We're going to shake twice, uncapture dive. That is the fast strat for this moon, but like I said, I'm a speedrunner, so I'm not really good with capturing the Goombas. We're going to grab the purples there because I don't want to have to come back in here for post-game, and I need a handful of those for all moons completion, so that's a pretty safe set to get. After you uncapture the Goombas, you dive right over that platform anyway. Capture this bill from afar to make it nice and safe so it doesn't run into us. Grab these coins, because why not? We're going to need to buy shot moons during the run and whatnot, so they're right there. Might as well. Triple jump up to this chest, open it, grab the moon, and then we're going to long jump over this gap here safely, and then we're going to roll into this loading zone to start up Knuckletech here in a second. Like I said, capture this bill from far away so it doesn't run into me. There is fast strats to capture those bullet bills, but they are not consistent enough for my Damageless speedrun, so we're not going to do those. And I know the first icicle here is up left. I just have that memorized, so we're going to ram the fist into the first icicle, immediately capture it, and then immediately punch Knuckletech. That is pretty much what we do for this entire fight. I like to go to this back wall and then cap farm because there is a Toadette achievement for 5,000 captors in this run. So I'm trying to throw Cappy as much as I can during downtime, and this is a completely safe moment when I can just go back here. And I know the icicles won't hit me if I'm on the back wall, so I don't have to worry about that. And same thing again, have the fist punch the icicle, it'll become unconscious, then I just throw Cappy backwards to capture it, and then ram the fist into his face. And I like to backflip and cap throw over his fists as they're coming up at me. You could walk to the side too, and that be safe. I don't really have a legitimate reason for jumping over it, other than that's just what I'm comfortable with. That's kind of what I figured out over time. Come Cappy in to grab that heart, why not? A couple extra coins. Doesn't lose me time to do it, and it's safe enough going on as well. Have his fist hit the icicle, ram his fist into the face, and there we go. I also had to dodge the clapping attack there, but yeah, nice and easy. This boss isn't really too noteworthy. Like I said, sand is pretty easy. The runs definitely gets harder the further I get into it, so just give me some time and we'll do some actual hard stuff. But right now the run's still pretty easy. But this is definitely the first boss that beginners would struggle with, I would say, is Knuckle Attack. I would say most beginners can probably nail Harriet without issue, but Knuckle Attack is where it gets a little bit scarier if you're not sure what to do. But for someone like me who's run this category a lot, it's pretty easy, pretty textbook. And we're just going to put Cappy on the globe here and then leave. If I was doing Damageless World, or a Damageless All Moons attempt, I would go out of my way to talk to a taxi guy. There's I forget the name, the little skeleton dudes that are in this kingdom. I forget their names for some reason. And there's a taxi guy that you have to talk to start the taxi cycle for post-game, because you get multiple moons by just talking to the taxi guy and then telling the taxi guy where to go. Or the taxi guy tells you where to go. It's a really weird moon. For some reason, this guy that's taking this taxi ride has to talk to me every time he stops in the kingdom. It's weird. I've never really understood it, but it exists and it gives me moons. So I kind of have to do it for post-game. But in this World Peace run, I don't have to bother with it. And we're going to head on to Lake Kingdom next. And this one is pretty much the exact same as an any percent speedrun. I'm just going to take some stuff a little bit safer, but for the most part, I'm just going to do regular any percent movement for most of this kingdom, because that is the safest way of doing it. So we're going to do... Oh, that didn't work. I'll do it again here. I'm going to do what I like to call a vault off Cappy here to get enough height to make it up here. Roll to the side of these Goombas, and then capture this zipper here. And then we're going to roll over to this moon and grab it. A lot of the moons here are just really quick and safe, so there's not much to mention. I am going to dive a little bit far out here to make sure I don't accidentally take damage to this fish like a buffoon. Because that'd be a silly way to kill a run, right? Don't want to do that. I want to make sure I'm playing safe here. Let's go around Dory's head to grab the Dory moon. And then we're going to go down to this pillar right here and spawn this moon. And then we have all the moons we need other than Rango here. The last three are just going to be from the Rango boss fight, but these are all the extra moons I need to get, I guess you could say. Now, most any percent runs, you'll see it will go up to this little platform here and then uncapture the fish and then go up to Rango that way, but that's risky. There's a lot of Goombas there, so I'm going to go over here, hit this flower, and then cap bounce over here and dodge the Goombas entirely. And then other 80% speedruns as well will just dive onto Rango's head, but I'm going to stay neutral on the stick, throw Cappy straight ahead, and then hit the hat, and that'll get me into the fast cycle safely. Backflip on the hat, ground pound, gap throw, backflip, round pound, cap throw. You kind of just go right through Rango there. The hit detection is gone during that phase for some reason, so I can ground pound right through him safely and not take a hit. And that is by far the safest way of completing this fight, is just by doing the fast strats, because this fight gets messy quickly if you do it slow. The Rango jumps all around the arena. It's really hard to dodge him, and the way he throws his hat at you can be kind of weird too. For the later versions of Rango, I do play him slower, but for this first one, the fast strat is by far the safest way. But yeah, that's Lake. Lake is a really quick one. We're in and out in like 3 minutes here. No time. We're just gonna put Cappy on the globe and then leave again and go on to Wooded. Okay, Wooded Kingdom, there is, this is probably the first hard, world peace boss, I'd say. This guy, Torque Drift, isn't that bad. He can be a little bit annoying at times, but you can dodge most of his attacks really easily, and I'll show you how. There's an easy way to cheese the fight that I'll get into whenever we get there. But, yeah, for starters, we're just going to grab a couple quick and easy moons here. We're going to grab this rock, double jump, and then run directly into the bunny to get the bunny moon spawn. And then we're going to spawn this rock moon. These 2 moons are really quick because it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. You can kind of hit the bunny and then go get the rock as well while you're waiting for that bunny moon to spawn. Because that's another thing to note. You can't grab moons right away. You got to wait a second or two for them to spawn. And then we're going to jump up this waterfall, which is not the intended route, but it's the quicker route, so that's what we're going to do. Because this is a speedrun. I'm trying to play safe, but I also am trying to play a little bit fast. Okay, I was trying to go for a trick there called net clip, where if I get it, it's like the clip I did in Cascade, where I clip out of bounds, and I would just use it to... The 100% speedruns use it to do some fancy movement and get some moons out of bounds and a little bit faster than you're supposed to. But I would just use it to skip going down, and I would get to that lever. I hit a little bit quicker. But yeah, that moon with the uproot, nice and easy. We're going to speed right past this uproot before it can attack me. And then we're going to get this checkpoint. I'm going to slow down a little bit here, clear out this poison a little bit, walk to the side of it, throw cap in this plant's mouth, and then kill it. Just like that. I think that's the safest way of killing that big plant. That poison you can clear out with Cappy pretty easily, and then you can kill the plant nice and quickly before it can speed poison at you. You do have to be a little bit quick on the inputs, but it's really not all that tight. And some speedruns do the fancy flower road skip movement. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to take the flower road, play it nice and safe. I will speed up this next part a little bit, and I will long jump over this gap instead of taking the fire road, because I think the fire road is wonky and slow, and there's really no reason for it. I'm going to be safe here and capture this uproot from a little bit far away, that way I don't take damage. And we're going to get both these tower moons nice and easily. There's actually a skip for this entire tower, so you don't have to do it, but it is risky, and if you fail it, you do die, so I don't like to do any damages very often at all. I just like to clear out this tower. The moons are quick enough. And then we're going to move on to Spirit here. And I'm going to dive and get this checkpoint, and then go up this way, because it's quick, but also safe. And then what I like to do here at first is cap throw, and then I get a cap return jump to land on Spirit's head. I like to stand a little bit further away than most speedruns do, just so I can time that hit better. Then I jump and cap throw to land on knock off his hat, and then land on his head. Jump to bop him, and to cancel that phase. Jump, cap throw, land on his head just like that. That is the same thing I do for the Luncheon Spirit fight as well. The fights are literally identical. The only difference is the arena is rectangular in Luncheon, and this one is circular. This fight's pretty much a joke as well. It's really easy, and I don't know if I've ever messed it up in Damageless. Maybe like once ever. It's so easy. We are still in the realm of relatively easy things for a Damageless world piece, I'd say. Okay, we're gonna go back up to this waterfall again. Except, once we get here, we're gonna take a slightly different route here. We're gonna go right here. And then we're gonna go right here. And then we're gonna do a backflip. And land on this little lip here. And then safely capture this tank. Dodge that bullet that's coming at me. Kill both of these tanks, that way I can't take damage to them. Break that. And then break that. The main reason I break this stair is, one, because you're going to see I'm going to spawn a Luigi here. This guy's going to give me 200 coins. Useful for post-game again, but you're not really going to see much use for it in this world piece submission. And it just makes the movement up to that moon right there a little bit easier, so I don't see why not to do it. And then we're going to come over. Before I go straight into this world piece segment, I do need an extra moon, so I need to break this nut. I did it a little bit slow here. I missed the ground pound, but that's okay. I'm going to dive. and then because I didn't have the height to make it up, which is fine. Just small minuscule time lost. Okay, I'm gonna safely capture this tank, turn a little bit far away, and then as long as I go forward immediately, those tanks won't hit me with the bullets that they shot. There's no point in killing them, I don't think. At all. I think killing them would be riskier. And then I'm just going to dodge the bombs. I'm going to be aware of where the bombs are, shoot them if they get in my way, and then kind of just dodge them while shooting the targets there. That part's not really hard at all. That's kind of what I do in my speedruns as well. I don't really know how to make that part any safer. I think that's the safest you can possibly make it. It's just be aware of where the bombs are and kind of shoot them if they get close. That's more than safe enough, I think. Okay, now we're at Torque Drift here. And for Torque Drift, we are gonna cheese it a little bit. We're gonna cheese Torque Drift here a little bit. And I will show you what I mean in just a second here. A lot of people accidentally pause there. There's no cutscene to skip. The cutscene skip starts after you bop them for the first time here. I remember that. Sometimes I pause. First, what I want to do here is I want to take specific lines here to avoid him shooting his lasers. If I go quick enough here, he won't shoot a single laser at me. Yeah, he shot one, but it despawned immediately because I was quick enough. If I just do more direct lines to those blocks before I break them, I can dodge his attack. And this is what I mean by cheesing it. We're going to go up on these blocks, and I don't have to dodge any of his lasers. Now, it is kind of risky, you could argue. If you're too slow to get on top of the blocks, the lasers could hit you, but no big deal. As long as I capture the uproot before it despawns, we're solid. And I'm going to wait for those blocks to shake right there and then hit them, because that'll mean these blocks will stay in place and I don't have to hit moving targets here. Perfect. Yeah. As long as I'm quick, those lasers that you shoot at me won't hit me. As long as I'm just not stopping unless I'm directly underneath the blocks. And yeah, I think I should mention, I guess, is that if you leave it captured uncaptured for too long, it will despawn and go back to its spawner, and the spawner is that little brown piece, circular piece on the ground there. That's the uproot spawner. And if I let him go for too long, he'll despawn. But the uproot shakes a little bit before it despawns, and whenever it's shaking is when I throw Cappy at it to capture it again. And like I said earlier, I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did. The reason I'm throwing Cappy there is for a Toadette achievement. For 5,000 cap throws, if I throw Cappy 5,000 times before the end of the all-moon speedrun, Cappy will, or Toadette will give me a moon for throwing Cappy 5,000 times. So, yeah. This boss is really easy because you can kind of cheese it like I did there. And that's pretty much it. We're going to move on to Cloud. And Cloud looks a little bit different than you'd see in a normal 90% speedrun. So I'll go over the safety precautions I take once we get there. Okay. Once again, just going to throw Cappy on the globe to make the moons I got, and then we can move on to Cloud. Mario is still completely unscathed, and we still have world peace intact. Okay, for Cloud Kingdom here, what I like to do is I like to do the beginner any percent strategy. For beginners, there is a fast shot where you can capture the hats right away with like backflips, but if you miss the backflip, you can take damage and stuff, or you can run into the hat and take damage. It's risky, so I don't do it. So what I like to do here, I like to start off with that, and then I do jump over this gap. I know it could activate the other clouds, but it's really not even much of a risk at all. So what I like to do here is I like to walk a little bit further ahead so I'm closer to Bowser, and then he's going to throw his hat at me. I'm going to throw Cappy to neutralize it, and I'm going to throw Cappy under the hat, and then shake to home in, and then I'm going to attack Bowser. Just like that. Nice and safe. That also skips his phase where he'll throw rocks at me, and there'll be fire on the ground and all that. It's kind of risky. So I just like to do that, neutralize the hat, and then throw Cappy under it, and then once I get close, I shake Cappy to home in. Nice and safe. Nice and safe. No risk of damage, really. The only risk of damage is if I throw Cappy too late to neutralize the hat. The hat will run into me and I'll take a hit, but the timing is really lenient. You have more than enough time to react. I'm going to walk to the right here to dodge those purple hats. Throw Cappy. Throw Cappy under the hat. Get close. Home in. If I'm too, if I get too close to Bowser before I home in Cappy, he'll steal the hat back. I also gotta jump over the tail there, but that's easy. He'll steal the hat if you're too close, but I did it perfectly there. No issues. This cloud fight is really easy. And the moon fight is pretty much identical, so the same strats apply. You'll see the same exact strategies. Except the way I dodge the purple hats is slightly different in Moon. Okay, Lost Kingdom. This is another kingdom that is slightly different from any percent. I am not going to do Meme Tree because it's very risky, and if I failed, I'm dead. The same thing applies for this skip, but it's much easier to execute, and there's less risk of death. I'm going to do this old school cage strat. This was what was used in any percent speedruns like week 1. So that's what we're going to do. They're much safer. We're going to jump up by Talkatoo there, then we're going to go over to this cave gardening moon, and then this is the first moon we're going to grab. And that's much safer than taking Meme Tree. I've never messed that up. The other alternative, if you don't like the cage skip, is to just get kleptoed, but I'm more comfortable with the cage skip than I am with getting kleptoed. Okay, we're gonna hit this button, go up here. Now this isn't like super fast, but it sets me up for post-game really nicely, and it's a safe moon, so I'm okay with going a little bit out of my way to make sure I get this checkpoint before post-game. Okay, now this also sets me up in a nice position to long jump nice and safely, and I'm gonna line Mario's shadow above this moon, so I make sure I'm gonna land on it safely. The other way there's other ways to get that quicker, but that's another reason I like to go up there, is it gets me that quick moon really safely. And I'm gonna ground pound this to trigger the moon. Oh, I meant to dive there, not roll on the edge, that's fine. I'm just going to get this stair moon nice and easily. Then we're going to come over to this trapedal. And I'm going to play this really safe and go behind the block. That way I have no risk of getting hit. It does take a little bit of time and it's a little bit slow, but it guarantees me the moon safely, so that's okay. And then the next moon I'm going to grab is this one. Just make sure I'm not accidentally falling in poison somehow. Make sure I'm landing on the tree nice and safely. We're going to spawn this cage, crash underneath the torpedo so it doesn't hit me. Get that cage moon. Now I am going to get the under the bridge moon here, but I'm not going to do it with Mario. There is another alternative, and that is capturing this little wiggly boy here, this wiggler. Tropical wiggler is what they're called. And I'm going to safely stretch and use this guy to get over there. That is the intended way of getting this moon, and it is the safe way. There is no risk of death if I do it this way whatsoever. As long as as long as you only move whenever the wiggler is extended like that, there's no risk of falling off these platforms whatsoever. I'm going to uncapture this guy here now, and I'm going to do a little bit of a slightly risky jump here, but not really. Get this cage gold moon here that I just broke with a torpedo. And then I'm going to long jump over here nice and safely. And then we're going to globe, and that is Lost Kingdom. Nice and safe. I meant to throw Cappy on the globe, not hug the tree. Tree strat. Yeah, it'll come in handy later. It's RNG in it. Trust me. It's not, but, you know. Yeah. That is Lost Kingdom nice and safe, though. No risk of damage pretty much anywhere in that entire kingdom. If you just play it really safe like I did there. If you try to go fast, it can get risky, but as long as you play it slow and you're nice and calm, it's not too bad of a kingdom. As long as you have like proper routing. I'm trying to go a little bit fast here with my routing and get moons that are nearby, but I'm also trying to get the safest moons in the kingdom. That way I kind of minimize the risk of damage as much as I can. Okay. Night Metro. We're gonna go nice and safely over here. Might as well get the purples. No reason not to. Not really much of a risk at all, right? Capture this wire. Grab this checkpoint. Now the safest way to do this is, first let's kill these flies so they don't hit me. And then we're going to do this jump right here up the building. This is not the intended way, obviously. This is a speedrun strat. But it is by far the safest way of kind of traversing this area. Okay, we're going to do a wall jump then to make sure I can make it. This one is safe, though. If I bonk, I fall into safe ground below me. And then we're going to go up here, nice and safely. Doing a little bit of extra movement to make sure I don't bonk or anything. We're gonna kind of ignore that moon and the breeze there, because if I fall, I could land on some flies. There's a bunch of flies below there, so I don't want to risk that. And I'm going to show you how to clear this tower nice and safely here. So first, we're going to kill these Goombas. Kill the Goombas. Go onto this platform here. Now, I personally think it's safer to cap bounce over these Goombas and then cap throw to stabilize, rather than going out of my way to kill the Goombas. We're going to wait a second here, because I wanted to make sure those Goombas were killed so they don't run into me. Now there's going to be a fly to my right here. I'm going to kill it. And then I'm going to safely cap bounce onto this pool. And then we're going to do some wall jumps to get up to this chest. And then we're going to do a little bit of a fancy jump there. Just open the chest and then get behind it. As long as I'm behind this chest, I'm pretty sure those flies can't hit me. But I'm just going to throw Cappy and home in to kill them nice and easily. We're going to do a little bit of a blind long jump here. This might look risky, but I think the risk is really low, which is why I go for it. If you value dive, which is where you throw Cappy and then miss on the dive, if you do that, or if you just like bonk, the chance of death is pretty low. Oh, bonk. Speaking of bonks. Because you'll land on safe ground below you that I just climbed up to. I'm going to capture this tank, kill this tank right here. And then we're going to start fighting the Wiggler. It is a little bit slow, but better than getting shot by the tank and taking damage. I think pulling the run, right? Now, you might see speedruns go into the corners here to shorten the Wiggler's pattern to save a couple seconds, but I'm not concerned with it. That's risky. You can get hit doing that, so I'm just going to safely dodge the Wiggler this way. And, kind of just dodge him. Look where he's going. Go to the side of that, and then just let him go. And yeah, just like that, nice and easy. Okay, I'm gonna shoot all of the fireballs immediately. That way they don't hit me. Oh, I missed that one. We're fine. This will probably result in me having to take an extra cycle, but like I said, safer than getting hit, right? Better than getting hit. Shoot all the fireballs. I dodged that one, that's fine. I missed the shot, but I like to shoot and try to move at the same time. That way if I miss a shot like I did there, I'm kind of moved out of the way so the fireball doesn't hit me. And then same thing again here. Shoot all the fireballs. 3, 4, 5. And then shoot the Wiggler right there. And yeah, let's make a Wiggler done slowly and safely. I can take as many cycles as I need there. And I know I won't take damage as long as I follow that approach every time. I can take like 10 cycles if I need. And I know as long as I do the safety shots and play it nice and slow, I won't take a hit of damage. So yeah. Make a Wiggler, nice and safe. On to Day Metro, which is a lot of people's favorite part of World Peace, because it is the festival. And I will say, as a casual player back in the day, this was definitely the most exciting part of World Peace, seeing the festival and seeing Mario get celebrated in New Donk City here. So we're going to do that. We're going to gather together a band, and we're going to do the festival. Nice and safely, though, because there are some risks. The overworld of Metro is by far the safest kingdom in the entire World Peace run. I'd say there's like no risk of damage at all while I'm in the overworld here, but whenever I start the World Peace portions and start the bosses, there is a little bit of a risk. Now, there is a faster try you can do with this scooter here to clip into this moon, but I'm a little bit of a newbie, and I'm not really great at speedrun strategies like that, so I'm just going to capture the RC car guy here. Take a little bit of time loss and just drive the car into the moon right there. And on their way to Pauline here, this bench friend. He is a little bit lonely, so we're going to sit next to him, chat him up, and he's going to give us a moon just for talking to him, just like that. Look at that. Nice and easy, nice and quick, completely safe. And now we're going to head on to Pauline, and I'm going to capture a couple of these pylons just to speed up the process a little bit. Oh, I thought that was a pylon for some reason. Muscle memory not the greatest, it's fine. We'll talk to Pauline here. Now if I do this right, if I spin pound and then roll into this musician, not only is it fast, but it stuns Pauline, and you'll see why that is important here in just a second. Right after this short little moon cutscene ends here. You'll see behind me that Pauline and the band are invisible. Magic. The way you make that happen is if you, Pauline is stunned while you talk to the drummer there, the band will just be invisible. It's a glitch, it's weird. I'm gonna grab that checkpoint for post-game, grab this moon, because it's in my path, and then we're gonna talk to this next musician here. All the musicians, like you can see, are really easy and safe. So, yeah, the hard parts of World Peace aren't starting yet. Like I said earlier, the overworld, I'm completely safe in the overworld here, no risk of damage or anything. We're gonna warp up to the last musician here. Oh, whoops, I bumped the B button. No big deal. And that text I got there with Cappy, that was just telling Cappy that was just Cappy telling me, excuse me, how I can warp using the map. That happens the first time you open the map in the run-in. Apparently that was the first time I opened the map. I'm gonna grab those coins there, like you saw earlier. 200 coins. Useful for post-game. Oh, I missed this ground pound on this moon. No big deal. I'm gonna save to grab this look at the cafe moon, and then I'm gonna dive over that way so I can safely land on that platform. There is a hint art picture. Oh, whoops. I can look out there for post-game, but I'm not really bothered with post-game this round. I'm just trying to show off the category, so... In all moons and times I would look at that hint art picture, but right now I'm just trying to get World Peace, so I'm just gonna back up to this guy. And now is when the World Peace portion gets a little bit riskier. And I missed a musician here, believe it or not. I actually forgot one. I need one more musician over this way. I forgot about this one. Forgot about this guy. No big deal. I need to warp to that checkpoint and get this guy. Nice and safe though, no big deal. The order of the musicians doesn't matter at all, because you always get reset to Pauline there, so me forgetting one there didn't waste me any time at all. Okay, Pauline's just telling me I need to go into the sewers to get the power turned back on, because apparently the power got turned off. So we're going to go into the sewers right here. And yeah, we're going to get the power turned on safely, because there are some risks here. This is the first risky part of the entire Metro Kingdom, other than, not Metro, but the first risky part of Day Metro, I'd say. Now, I like to take this part a little bit faster, because I think that's the safest way. If I can just bypass these flies entirely and not have to worry about killing them, that is my best bet. Like, those flies, if I go faster, they don't even attack me. And then I'm going to cap pounce, and then go on top of this grand beam, and then I'm going to turn around, because I want to get this moon here. If I just play a little bit fast, I don't have to worry about those flies at all. Now, I do have visual cues here for where the plants are going to spew poison. As long as I'm standing on this line right here, trying to get up to it, I know the poison will never hit me. And I'm just going to do a down throw with Mario, or with Cappy, excuse me, to kill that first plant, grab the coins. Why not? And then I know this line right here, right in front of me. I messed that up. I want Cappy back. I don't want to dive over the poison. That's risky. I'm gonna let him spew again, and then as soon as he's done spewing, down throw. If I was using Joy-Cons, I could down throw without using a ground pound beforehand. But because I'm playing on the Pro controller, I can only down throw if I do a ground pound beforehand. For some reason, Nintendo never added the down throw motion control to Pro Cons. There is no good reason why, but it's just not there, so I have to do a ground pound first. Which makes it slightly riskier because I could accidentally roll, but I've literally never accidentally rolled in my life after a down throw, so not really risky at all. That is by far the safest way of killing off those plants. And now we get to start the festival. And I'm going to show you how to do it slowly and safely so you don't accidentally take a hit of damage. Okay, we're going to go into this pipe. And that's how you start the festival. Just go into this pipe here. Now I'm going to walk with Mario, like I said. I'm only going to run if I absolutely have to in these sections. And this is definitely not one where I have to run. I do run sometimes in the festival, like here, just to speed it up a little bit, but only if I have to. And wait for that barrel to fall, and then I'm going to run, or I'm going to walk, because I know I'm going to be safe in between both those barrels. And I know there's no risk on this screen, so I can run a little bit and speed it up. I wait for that barrel to fall, and then I jump past it. And I like to get the secret moon up here. I'm going to have one extra moon for this run. I accidentally got an extra. And that extra is this moon. This is the extra moon I'm kind of going on my way to grab. But that's just because I want to show it off. Because for a post-game speedrun, for a post-game World Peace speedrun, whenever you're in post-game, you don't want to have to do Festival twice. And if I don't grab that moon there, I have to do Festival twice. So I'm going to just grab it just to show it off for... If I were to do post game in this file, I want to make sure I have that grabbed. That's like the main reason, just muscle memory. I'm only really good at doing this festival if I grab that moon. So I'm gonna wait for the second barrel to go right before it goes into the fire here, and I'm gonna jump. And I know as soon as it hits the fire, I know that top barrel right there won't run into me, and I kind of have the timing for jumping over the barrels memorized. So I'm just kind of waiting for a barrel to pass. That way it gives me a safe opening to go up there. And then I'm going to jump on these blocks. Jump over this one, and as soon as I jump over it, I know I'm safe to go. And I know Donkey Kong won't throw a barrel on me, so I can kind of rush underneath nice and safely. Hit the question mark box to kill him off, and then that's it. We're done with Metro Peace here. Oh, I'm not close enough. Hello, there we go. I like to go in first person here just because it looks silly. That's like, it doesn't save time, but it just looks silly, so I like it. It makes the camera look all weird. And yeah, that's it for Metro. We're gonna throw Cappy on the globe and then go to Snow Kingdom. Okay, Snow Kingdom right here. Just mash A. I should mention that if you go to Seaside first, it doesn't really matter. All the kingdom choice there changes is the painting order. There are paintings in post-game. Whenever you go through them, it'll put you at like a high point in the kingdom, and it'll give you a freebie moon. Just by like opening a chest, for example. And I'll show you an example of that at the end of this kingdom, because I'm going to do a fun trick jump at the end of this kingdom to kind of tease a painting moon early. So... yeah. That's all that changes. It's just the painting order. I like to get this checkpoint, not because I'm going to use it right now, but just for post-game reasons. Just to make sure I can grab it to warp. And, directly behind me here, there's going to be a really easy moon, so we're going to grab that real quick. Just triple jump up to it, and then there you go. Grab the moon. And then, I'm going to see if I can nail a trick here. If I don't nail it, I have a backup that is equally as safe. So I'm just going to open this chest with Cappy here. And then this is the upcoming trick right here. I'm going to try to do those moon clips I was talking about. And if I can get it, it'll save me time over doing a roll cancel clip. I think I got it there. That should have worked. Okay, cool. I did get it. Oh, I didn't. I was out of bounds when I clipped back in. That was really odd. I've never seen that before. Weird. Okay, this is the backup I was talking about. I can safely just roll cancel against this wall. This might take me a minute. This clip is really precise. and kind of stinky, because Nintendo did try to patch this so it is more precise than it was in earlier versions of the game. I'm playing on the most recent version of the game, because it's faster, but there we go. Got it. Didn't take too long there at all. And that is way safer than going through the rooms and trying to grab all the story moons and doing all the risks that are involved with all the rooms. The rooms are... I skipped 4 barrier rooms that they're called that have risks associated with them. But yeah, that roll cancel is much safer. Or the moon clip that I tried to go for. They're both pretty equally safe. As long as you're able to get to that loading zone without doing the 4 rooms, that's the best approach. There's like a lot of different out-of-bounds clips in this kingdom. I personally think the moon clip I tried to go for and that downstairs clip are the 2 safest methods, so that's what I try to go for. And this right here is the safest kingdom for world peace in the entire run. Because there is no way to take damage during this race whatsoever. And this is actually a thing I recommend to people who are trying Damageless for the first ever time. I recommend them to do that roll cancel clip I just did, and then I recommend them to do the race, because there's no risk of damage during the race, and it unlocks a ton of safe moons afterwards. And you can completely bypass the 4 risk rooms I was talking about that kind of unlock this by doing the roll cancel clip. So, really safe. And it's not even that long. This race only takes me about a minute usually. Somewhere between like 57 seconds to a minute, typically, for this race. So nice and quick. Doesn't even take that long. And it's also a fun minigame because a lot of people in my chat typically like to guess what time I'm going to get on this race. So that's another fun bonus of doing this race. They can try to guess the time. This is a really clean race all the way through, so I'm going to get a 57 here, which is really fast. One of my best. I think my best ever might be like 55 seconds, but 57 is not shabby. Okay, we're just going to grab this multi-moon here, just like that. And then that's world peace done for this kingdom. But obviously I didn't get very many moons, so I still need like 5 more moons before I can leave. And that's fine. Like I said, all the safe moons unlock after world peace. Typically for a lot of these kingdoms, I like to get world peace and then end at the Odyssey because that's the quickest method. But for this kingdom, it doesn't really work out that way. Even in like the world peace speedrun, they get moons after the race there, so that's fine. We're gonna have to get some extra moons before I can leave, so not done yet. I'm just gonna get some quick and easy moons that are kind of just nearby and work out well. I'm just gonna leave Cappy on that scarecrow. There are no reason to go out of my way to pick him up. He'll come back to me on his own. And then I'm gonna hit this bunny. Oh no! He's escaping me! How dare the bunny? There we go. A little bit of a slow bunny. It happens. I'm not super great with grabbing these bunnies. There are like speedrun setups, and I did try to go for one there, but no big deal. I messed it up. And it's safe to capture Lakitu. Even if I were to like dive into Lakitu there, Lakitu can't damage me. He's not an enemy, so don't have to worry about anything. And the way I know when to get this fish is my controller will vibrate, and then I press Y, or like mash the Y button to reel him in. Typically I can get a little bit... Oh, I didn't mean non-capture there, my bad. I meant to warp. I can get a little bit of a quicker fish than that, but third try bite isn't bad. And yeah, this is the trick that I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna... Oh, whoops. Get on top of the Odyssey, that's what I'm trying to do. And then I'm gonna do a first-person setup here. I'm gonna throw Cappy, roll off him into vault. Do some mid-air movement. Ah, I failed it there, no big deal. That happens sometimes. I can typically get this within 2 to 3 tries at most. And the nice thing about this trick is it's completely risk-free. There is no risk of damage as long as I, like, because I land on the sand down, or the snow, my bad, down there, and I can just warp immediately, so no risk of damage at all. I didn't get my, if I do that right there, if I vault off Cappy weirdly there, I won't get my cap bounce. It's kind of finicky, this trick. It can be a little bit finicky. But we got it here. Third try. No big deal. It's really hard to get this trick first try, but third try is not bad. I do get it first try a handful of times, though. It's just kind of a little bit random. Not really. It's up to my skill. Sometimes I fail it. Sometimes I get it. It's a hard trick, so I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. I will definitely accept that in no reset setting here. And Mario's still unscathed, by the way. I've yet to take a hit of damage anywhere, and we're already all the way through snow in less than an hour. With world peace intact. And we're on to Seaside Kingdom now. This one I do some weird stuff to ensure safety, and I'll go over that whenever we get there. It's mainly with the buttons I'm going to have to hit here to spawn the Mollusk fight. Because the speedruns hit the buttons immediately, but I'm going to go out of my way not to hit them, and I'll show you. And that's because I want to make... Hitting the buttons spawns bombs. Mollusks will shoot bombs at me the more buttons I hit. And I don't really want to have to dodge those bombs while I'm trying to get moons, so I'm going to go to my way to avoid hitting the buttons here. But I just need to get that quick moon first to make sure I have enough to leave the kingdom. And then we're going to head over to the first story moon here to begin the world peace process. And what I'm going to do here with discussion, I'm going to wait for him to shake, and I'm going to cap out to the side, and I'm going to throw Cap in home and capture him safely. And that's the first story moon right there. And you might notice I kind of uncaptured the Gushin, and I left him on that little ledge there, so as soon as this cutscene's over, I can quickly capture him again and fly him to the next one. So like I said, I'm not going to hit this button right away, even though the game wants me to. I'm going to down throw to capture this Gushin, just because the Gushin's far away, and that's the easiest way to. And then to skip there's actually a cave you're supposed to go through to get to the story moon here, but I'm just going to use the Gushin and fly over to it. And Cappy actually says nice jump there if I do that, because the developers apparently thought of that and program it in text if you do that. So yeah, again, gonna bypass this button. I'm getting checkpoints along the way. That way, on my way back, I can warp to all those checkpoints safely and not have to dodge any of the bombs. We're gonna go to this next world peace objective here, which is this next button. We're gonna grab a rocket flower and bypass all the risk by just using a rocket flower to go over the water. And then I'm going to cap bounce safely up here. That way I don't take damage to any of the Gushins. And then we're going to down throw to this one. Nice and safely. And then I'm going to let the Gushin fall a little bit. And then just spray water right before I hit the lava, because it makes a really big hole if you do it whenever you're close to the lava. And that makes it so the Gushin will safely fall back down to safety, instead of me falling into the lava and taking a hit. Okay, instead of hitting this button, like I said, we're just gonna warp to the Odyssey and go to the last story moon here, the last button. And then I'm gonna go do a lap through and hit all the buttons. Same thing again, we're gonna wait for the Gushin to shake, and then I'll cap out to the side, and then throw Cappy to capture him. And then we're going to go up here, grab these purples just because they're here, but not really. I'm just refilling my water with the Gushin, that way I don't run out, and it resets my height as well. And I'm going to grab that story moon, or not that story moon, just that regular moon, my bad. I'm going to throw Cappy to home in to get rid of the fire, and walk around the fire just to ensure I don't run into it like a silly person. Not going to do that. That'd be a really silly way of killing the run. And then I'm going to long jump down here safely. Grab the checkpoint because I'm going to warp to it here. And grab the last story moon. Now instead of warping back to the Odyssey, which I mean I guess you could do, I'm just going to cap bounce over here. It's safe enough. There's like no risk at all. And it's quicker as well, so that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to go over to this Gushin. Capture him just like that. And then we're going to go back up here again. Except this time we are going to hit Can I hit this? Ground pound this button to start the world peace process. Oh, I actually just realized I forgot a checkpoint here, so I'm gonna have to go into backup mode a little bit, but that's fine. I forgot the hot spring steel checkpoint over here, but I can show you. So this, typically if you hit the buttons right away, you have to dodge some bombs, and you'll see those as I'm going through this process. But if I just go take this routing back there again, this is a little bit slow. I just forgot to do it. Those bombs right there to my left is what I'm talking about. They can be a little bit risky, but not really. And luckily this time I don't really have to worry about capturing the Gushin, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to make my way over to this button. The checkpoint is right to my side there. I just forgot to grab it because I wasn't paying enough attention, but still safe enough. But I am going to warp to this last checkpoint here. I can't believe I forgot that. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was too worried about my commentary, but it happens. Small mistake. Didn't really have to pay for it, though. It's safe enough to back that up. I've practiced that backup before, so safe enough. And then we're going to long jump down here. And then I'm going to capture this Gushin just like that. And I'm going to throw Cappy home in and then dive as well, just in case he does spray his water. I won't get hit by it. And then the way to kill Mollusk here is you want to spray his head, because there's lava on top of it. And then I like to sit on this platform up here, let Mollusk go out of the way. Now there are faster strats I can do, but this boss is the first really risky spot of the run, I'd say, that I could potentially lose the run. So I want to play nice and safe, nice and slow, and then I'm going to follow him. The speedrun would go ahead of him and beat him to the hot spring island, but I'm just going to go to the side here, follow him there, just wait for him. This does lose me quite a bit of time, I'd say, but it's definitely worth it for the safety, 100%. The speedrun strat here is very risky, and I would not go for it in a Damageless attempt. I would not recommend it. Now I'm going to fly through this because it'll reset my water, and because I need to be above Mollusk anyway, so that's what I like to do. Okay, he's going to go to the side, that's fine, I'll fall straight down, whiff on my water, and then I'm going to spray his head one more time. Now I'm going to refill my water here in the hot spring, and then I'm going to meet him over here by the seaweed. I'm going to spray him, and then I'm going to ground pound. And the reason I do that slightly faster speedrun strat, because that's not the intended strat. The intended strat is to pull him all the way back over to the lighthouse, and then hit him again with the Gushin. But the reason I do that is because it skips the final phase, and the final phase is risky because he sprays, or he shoots rockets at me, and I have to dodge the rockets. So I think just ground pounding him right there is a little bit safer, personally. Some other people may disagree, but I personally think that's the safer method. And that's what I go for in all my Damageless attempts. Now we're going on to, by far, the scariest kingdom for Damageless World Peace, which is the Luncheon Kingdom. And you'll see why, because the hardest boss in Damageless World Peace is in this kingdom, which is Cockatiel. Cockatiel is very scary, and I'll explain why once we get there. This is by far the boss I reset to the most in Damageless World Peace, but hopefully I won't screw it up here, and I can show you how to safely do it. But before we get to that, like I mentioned in Wooded Kingdom, I have to kill off Spirit first. Okay, before we start Spirit though, I want to get a couple quick moons. Let's see if I can nail this trick first try. I don't think I got it, no. That's fine. If I fail it, I fall right here and I can do a little bit of an easier backup. There we go. I can sometimes know that triple jump there. It is really tight though, and I mess up the spacing for the cap bounce. That was my issue there. Now, the 90% speedrun would typically just go straight ahead, but there's Goombas, there's lava bubbles there, so I don't really want to do that. This set way will also get me 3 purples. And I want to safely cap bounce over to this moon. and grab it. And then the way I like to get up from here safely is a ground pound jump will get me enough height just to wall jump off that, just like that. And then I can walk onto this pathway and start the spirit fight. Same thing as Wooded. Cap throw, cap, return jump onto his head. Jump onto the hat. Bop him just like that. Stand far away so you can time the bop nice and easily. Just like that. Easy boss fight, no problems here. And then I can just dive into that moon nice and safely here. Okay, we're just gonna safely roll across this bridge just like this. Then we're gonna capture this fork to get up here and get some purples. And then we're gonna go over here. And I do want to get on top of this pillar over here. And I think the safest way of doing that is going over here, right by that fork. And then I'm gonna ground pound to spawn that moon. And then I'm gonna go over here and grab another moon. Now I could cap bounce right above this mountain, right behind me here. And then get to the hammer bridge that way, but that's risky, there's enemies, so I wanna take the long way around and safely get there, so I'm gonna do that. We're gonna capture this lava bubble, and then we're gonna go over by these what would you call these? Just lava pillars, I guess. Pepto-Bismol pillars. Then we're gonna go over here. Oh, I didn't mean to ground pound that. That was weird. Whatever. And we're gonna safely go up the middle here, just like this. And the reason I go up the middle is so I don't have to worry about the Goombas to both sides of me there. Okay, I'm gonna stand on this little, what do you call it, geometry piece right here. And then I'm gonna safely go to the side there and capture him just like that. Because I know if I'm standing on that geometry piece there, the hammers won't fly far enough to hit me. And then I'm gonna wait one more cycle, actually. I'm gonna wait for this guy to throw hammers. And then I'm gonna spam hammers to kill this guy while he's on top of the block, just like that. And then I'm gonna land right there, because I know that Spiny won't see me if I land there at first, and I can kind of safely kill him off. And then I can get that lever. And that is how to spawn that first storyman there. Nice and safely. Not really too much risks. I will long jump over this gap, though, and that's so I don't have to deal with the hammer bro again. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint real quick just so I have it. And then I'm gonna capture this lava bubble. And typically in speedruns you would grab that moon, but I'm gonna skip it. And that's because that Spawny's there. If I wait to get that moon till later, the Spawny won't be there. I'm gonna wait for that hammer bro to stop throwing hammers there. And then I'm gonna go over to the side here. I was waiting for that hammer bro to be out of my way. But that pan bro, my bad. Same thing pretty much though. And then I'm gonna go over here, long jump over to this moon, just like this, and then ground pound to spawn it. And then I'm gonna safely do some slower movement here, but that's just so I can make sure I don't fall into the lava or anything. And then we're gonna cap bounce. You could take that fork there, but I think that fork's a troll, because if you capture the fork, you can take damage to that Spiny there while you're inside the fork capture, so I don't do that. Now my visual cue here is wait till the camera pans in like it does there into Mario. And the reason I do that is just because if you jump too quickly, you can get a first frame jump, and if you jump on the first frame of Mario landing, you won't get the cap bounce. The cap bounce won't refresh. It won't count you as landed, and you'll fall into the lava. But if I wait... I bumped my friend. Well, sorry about that. If I wait for Mario, if I wait for the camera to pan, I know I won't get a first frame jump at all. Okay, we're gonna go up to this storyman, or not, why do I keep saying storyman? I didn't mean to say that. This timer challenge moon, rather. And I'm gonna throw Cappy to start it. I'm gonna walk over here safely. And then we're gonna just wall jump up here to get the moon. And I am actually gonna grab Cappy back here because I do want Cappy for this upcoming piece of movement sooner. So that's what I'm gonna do here. And then we're gonna go this way. I could roll up here, but I want to safely dive to make sure I don't fall off that cliff or anything dumb. And the reason I save this moon right here for now is because if I grab it now, you'll see I can safely long jump. It cap bounce over the lava. I have height to my advantage, so it makes that jump really easy. And I'm gonna capture this lava bubble. And I'm gonna grab the purples in here, and that's just because I'm in Damageless all moon speedrunner. So I have muscle memory, but the only way I really know how to clear this cave safely is to kind of do what I did there and grab the purples. That's just my muscle memory. It doesn't help for this world peace portion at all. That's just me having muscle memory already set in stone for a slightly different speedrun. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, we're gonna let this torch just like that. Just be slow, climb the lava pillars as they go down. Whenever they go down, I kind of hop up because I have an opportunity to. And this is the hardest part of luncheon right here, is this cockatiel boss fight. And you will see why. So I'm going to actually take the casual route up to cockatiel because I have killed runs in the past to trying to be a speedrunner. So I'm going to cap bounce over this lava. I'm going to hit this chest to spawn the coin and then get behind it so that fireball there hits the chest. I'm going to grab these purples just because they're in my path. And we're going to do this. I'm going to grab the checkpoint just so I have it for post-game reasons that will not be seen in this run, like I said before. We'll up throw to capture this fork and then fling up just like that. And then I'm going to bop that spiny off the platform just like that. And then I'm going to cap bounce over, throw Cappy into this plant's mouth, walk into it to kill it. And I want to make sure I'm not in the way of those fruit that are rolling down that path either. I'm going to backflip up here. I'm going to wait for this platform to turn to blue, and then I'm going to backflip, wall jump off that wall right there, and then cap bounce, cap throw over here, jump and cap throw to kind of get over there. And that is way safer than doing the speedrun route, because if you mess up the speedrun route, you fall into lava. And you can, I had a run the other day where I just didn't get my wall jump and fell into lava, so that's the reason I do that. I just do it safer just like that. So Cockatiel. What I'm going to do here is Cockatiel is going to go to the left, so I'm going to go in front of Cockatiel here just like this. And I am going to stay about one Cockatiel length ahead. So take Cockatiel's shadow, and then multiply it and put it ahead of Cockatiel, if that makes sense. And that's kind of my rough visual cue. And I'm going to make sure I'm ahead of Cockatiel at all times, looking out for shadows. I'm going to jump over one fruit here, and then I'm going to bounce on Cockatiel's head, because that's the safe strat, just like that. If you go too fast, you'll get hit by an invisible piece of fruit, so I'm not going to do that. That's a glitch with this fight, unfortunately. And I'm looking out for those shadows. That shadow I saw I boosted. And I'm looking out for the shadows. The reason I go ahead of Cockatiel is so I can, one, see all the shadows, and two, you'll see a majority of the fruit. Ooh, I saw that shadow. I had to boot fast. A majority of the fruit just goes directly under Cockatiel or behind me, so I don't have to dodge a majority of the fruit. But that one piece of fruit I did have to dodge there. Same thing again, jump over one piece of fruit, and then pop Cockatiel in the head. I got stuck there a little bit. Not fun. The chunks in this ground, if you bop into them, are kind of like a bonk with Mario. You kind of just get stuck in place for a second. Like I said before, staying ahead of Cockatiel, looking for the shadows. I'm going to let Cockatiel catch up a little bit here and go a little bit slow. I'm a little bit far ahead. Perfect. Then I'm going to jump up to this here, jump up here. Ooh, I saw that piece of fruit there. Ah. There we go. I had to go silent and focus there for a second. Yeah, just climb up those pieces that that spew that he's vomiting up or whatever. It's really gross if you think about it, but yeah, just climb it and look out for the shadows. And I saw a couple shadows there that I was dodging, and that's just the main thing of this fight. Watch out for the fruit, dodge it with the shadows, and yeah, that's much easier and safer than doing the fast track, because with the fast track you can get hit with invisible fruit because the fight's glitchy and not designed very well. And you can just get, if you're going for the fast track where you bop cookie tail underneath, you can get hit by fruit that spawns directly underneath that you can't even see. It's not fun. That is by far the safest way of doing that fight. I'm glad that fight went well, because that is the 100% the scariest part of World Peace Damageless. And looking at this pace here, leaving lunch in just under an hour 16, I'm going to say this will take me maybe an hour 32 to an hour 33 minutes for this run at this point. That's probably my guess at this point. I'm not really good at telling paces because speed is secondary for this category. The biggest thing is not taking damage, so I try to ignore the timer when I can, and I try to just focus in on playing the game. And whatever time I get is whatever time I get. Because like I said, timer is secondary. I do try to go fast when I can, and it's safe, but for the most part, I try to play stuff unsafe. We're just gonna get up to this wire here. We don't need any extra moons in this kingdom at all, so we're just gonna bum rush for the dragon here, kill the dragon, and then leave. And I'll go over how to kill the dragon safely, because in the any percent speedruns and stuff like that, they just damage boost here. So I'm gonna spawn Toad, and that's not only for the coins, that is because I'm gonna use them as a visual cue later, and I'll explain that whenever I get there. Just walk into the left here to dodge those first lasers. And I'm staying by this glowy bit right here. I'm going to jump cap through to get over that first one, cap return, and then cap bounce over this next set of lasers. I'm going to pour out the swords here nice and easily, and then ground pound his head there. Like I said, for these first two phases, I like to be over by this glowy bit. And that's what I'm comfortable with. You can dodge these really laser things anywhere in the arena. I just have like any percent muscle memory from being in this general area, so it doesn't really lose time to be here or anything, where it's not really any riskier. Jump over that first one and then cap bounce over the rest of the lasers, and that is how to safely dodge them. Okay, pull out all the swords, ground pound, nice and easy. And this is where Toad's going to be my visual key. I'm going to go to the back wall here, and as soon as the first laser runs over Toad, I walk to the left here. And that is because I can just walk nice and safely, and it'll just dodge all the lasers. Cap throw, jump to get over those first lasers, and cap punch over the rest. Nice and safely, just like that. Pull out the swords. And kill the dragon right there. That is how to complete Ruin the Kingdom safely without damage. Like I said, all the speedruns intentionally take damage here because you're on top of the dragon quicker, but this is Damageless. We don't have that luxury of being able to take damage, so gotta play it a little bit slower. But honestly, with the approach I did there, you probably don't lose more than 2 or 3 seconds, which is really nice. But this kingdom's pretty easy, nice and quick. It's literally only a boss fight, and then we're out. And on to the Bowser's Kingdom. Bowser's is another scary one. I can very easily take damage here, so hopefully I don't. But definitely not as scary as Luncheon. Luncheon is like the highlight of the Damageless run, and it's by far the scariest part. Okay, Bowser's. I'm gonna get the 2 safest moons in the kingdom, and I'll show you which 2 of those are, because we're not gonna have the circular moon icons like we do in all the other kingdoms that tell me how many moons I need. But I just know off running this game and just memory that I need 2 extra moons. I need all the story moons and then 2 extra moons. So I'm just gonna roll past these Goombas nice and safely here. and then capture this first wire. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint, and then I'm gonna cap bounce over here to dodge the Tokyos, which are those birds, and I'm gonna safely cap bounce up here. I'm gonna cap bounce over the spiny, and then take this wire. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint, and then the safest way to get over to this ogre is just that way, walking through the spinies. Typically, those spinies aren't even an issue. I'm gonna have the walk in front of the ogre to have him drop the stair, but walk a little bit further out just to make sure the stair doesn't hit me. I'm gonna cap bounce on top of his head and then ground pound that spot there, nice and safely. And that is the first story moon done. That is by far the easiest part of the kingdom. That part's really easy and quick. The other parts are a little bit slower, but still relatively quick. I'm gonna just get over to this wire as quick as I can. Oh, whoops. Messed up that movement a little bit. Okay. Shards here. I'm gonna roll ahead with Mario and get that first shard. Go right behind that bomb. I'm gonna home cap in to get that second shard. And then we're gonna do a ground pound and cap bounce to get over those spinies. And then I'm gonna do another ground pound and cap bounce and then dive to get over the void there. And on top of this roof. Because this roof is 100% where you want it to be safe. I'm gonna get that first shard. And then I'm gonna down throw here. Oh, whoops. That can happen sometimes. Sometimes your down throw will get eaten by the roof. Just hitbox. Which is fine, I can just do another one. The down throw is by far the safest way to get that shard. I'm gonna kill that Tokyo here. Then I'm gonna set up my aim. And then just mash Y. I'm gonna uncapture and throw Kappa to hit that shard from afar, so I don't have to worry about dodging the bomb at all. A little bit safer. And then we're just gonna grab the story moon. Now my first extra moon that I'm gonna get here that I need to progress and leave the kingdom is gonna be right to my right here. And this is actually a moon that any percent gets, but I'm going to do it a little bit safer than the 90% speedrun does, because if I fail the speedrun way, I will die. And we don't want that, right? So I'm going to cap bounce up those stairs. I'm going to make sure I'm like hugging that wall. And then I'm going to go up here with the cap bounce. And then just like that, get the moon safely. That way, there's like pretty much no risk of failure. And then I'm going to go out of my way to pan the camera before I move to make sure I don't walk off the edge. Okay. We're going to get that checkpoint, and then we're going to take this wire onto the next island. Now, Topper is the right one, so we're going to do him first. We're going to stay far away from Topper, pop off his 3 hats, hit him on the noggin, and then I'm going to cap bounce away and go against this wall. And this just lets me bop all his hats before they come close to me. The speedrun strat is really precise and risky, so I don't like to do it. I can just stand against this wall, and if his hats come close, I can just bop him with Cappy here. Now, what I like to do here, so I don't like to let him walk to me, I throw Cappy, and then I dive onto him just like that. Pop off a couple hats, and then whenever he's standing still, I land on his body. I'm just gonna jump over that hat, because I was getting a little bit close for comfort. Same thing again. Pop off his hats. Dive onto the body. And that is Topper killed safely. That is my preferred way of doing it. Landing onto his body with the dive is a little bit risky and fast, but I think it's better than knocking off all his hats individually. I think it's a little bit safer. So I'm going to walk up to Harriet here to start the fight, just to get Harriet to walk further away from me. I'm going to throw Cappy to bop the bomb into her. And we're going to bop her just like that. I'm going to throw Cappy right here, because I know that's where the bomb lands. Same thing again. Walk up to Harriet to get her to walk back so I have some room to breathe. And then throw Cappy into the bomb to knock it back into her. Throw Cappy into the bomb after it lands. And then one more time. Walk up to Harriet to get some breathing room. And then pop the bomb into her. I'm going to be a little bit slow here and just pop Harriet here to make sure I can land onto her head safely. And that is half of Bowser's completed. A lot of speedrunners like to split right here after this story moon for the kingdom. They usually split the kingdom into 2 parts here. So that is the halfway point of this kingdom. And what a lot of people like to consider the bunnies part of the kingdom. So there we go, halfway done with Bowser's. I'm going to show you how to safely come up to the Mecha Brutal boss right here now. I do have a lot of safety stress because this climb alone is really risky, and the fight itself is risky too, so. Grab this checkpoint so we have it. And then I like to triple jump up here. I think this is the safest way. That's fine, to get a little bit close, but it's fine. Okay, what I like to do here is I like to do a ground pound jump over the spiny. And then I think the safest option is doing this cap bounce over the void. It might not seem like the safest option, but those bombs are really risky. And I'd rather jump over the void and then avoid all those bombs. Avoid that ogre just like that. Jump on the block. And then easily shake your way up here with the Pokio. Oh, I messed up the movement a little bit. Okay, nice and easy. Uncapture the Pokio, we don't need it anymore. And then here we go, the Mecha Brutal boss fight. This boss I am a very dirty speedrunner with, and I like to do the speedrun chat for, because that's what I'm comfortable with. There are other slower and safer ways. I'm just worse with them than I am with just doing the speedrun chat. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to do the fast speedrun way, because that's what I'm comfortable with. Oh, I missed that ground pound. No big deal. I can back it up just like that. Okay. Do some cap bounces to get back on top of mech. And then I like to crouch. The reason I like to crouch is because it makes Mario move less here, it seems like. It might just be placebo, but I don't know. I watched a tutorial back in 2017 that said it was safer, so I'm trusting that. Now, this is where I do like to play it a little bit safer. I like to wait for the mech to step 5 times. Because it'll stop moving. 4, 5, and then you'll see he stops moving, so I can safely ground pound that bubble. And then we'll get it back on top with some simple cap bounces. And then we're going to spin pound Harriet, just like that, and that is Mecha Brutal dead without damage. That is the way I like to do it. I'm the first one to admit that probably isn't the safest way, but there's a million different ways to do this boss fight. You can do it the casual way and kind of just knock the bombs into it. There's a lot of safe ways to do it. Kind of find an approach that works for you. Like every damage renderer I watch does this boss slightly differently, so yeah, there's tutorials out there if you want them. I know teammate Dan has a good tutorial on how to do this boss safely. He has a tutorial on how to do the entire world peace run safely if you want to watch it. So yeah. Now, you might have noticed I only got 1 extra moon, and that's because the second extra moon I don't actually grab till after this boss fight is over. And there is actually a pool, or like a fence post, without the Bowser skull on it, you'll see. After Cappy is done talking to me here. This, if I long jump back here, this, or actually it still has the skull, my bad, I never paid attention, but that skull right there, it's glowing. That's the cue. The cue is that it's glowing. I missed the ground pound. And if you throw Cappy onto it, you'll get a moon. And that's the second safe moon for the kingdom. That is by far the safest Bowser's Kingdom moon, so I definitely want to make sure I grab that one. And we only have 1 kingdom left until we're done with Damageless World Peace. And that kingdom is Moon Kingdom. We're going to go to the moon. And I'll show you how to safely complete Moon Kingdom, because this one is another one that can be of concern for sure. Okay, Moon Kingdom. What I'm going to do first here is do a little bit of fancy jumps to dodge some of the spikes here. The moon snakes are what they're called. The spiky rock things that move around. You'll see them in just a second here. And we do look dapper. Thank you for noticing, Cappy. Cappy turns us into a different outfit here, the Tuxedo Mario. So I'm going to do a triple jump here. And I'm going to cap bounce all the way over here because it's a little bit safer. Just in case. And then we're going to roll this way. But we're going to take a little bit of a pause here. This moonstick's in my way, so we're going to wait for it a little bit. And we're going to go behind it, nice and slowly. And then I'm just going to jump and cap bounce with Mario to get over it safely. Then we're going to grab 2 rocket flowers here. And we're going to do a trick that I like to call Moon Cave Skip. And that is because the Moon Cave is very risky, and if you do it, you have to actually fight an extra boss. So this is by far the safest approach. And we're just going to do a little bit of a couple wall jumps here. Just to get up here and skip the Moon Cave. And then we're going to cap bounce over that gap there. Okay, we're going to activate the Bowser fight now. Skip a couple cutscenes, and then as soon as I skip this cutscene, there's a hat coming right for me, so we're going to throw Cappy. Put Cappy underneath like I did in Cloud, and then home him in. And then we're going to hit Bowser here. 1. He'll spin his tail once there, so go ahead and jump over it. Bowser's gonna spew fire here. Simply cap bounce over it. And I'm actually gonna go neutral on the cap bounce there to get a little bit of extra height. If I go neutral on the stick, I'll get a little bit of extra height off the cap bounce. Hit the hat. Throw Cappy underneath. 1, 2. And then shake the controller to kind of punch him, just like that. Now this fire hitbox is really broken. It doesn't go high at all. So I don't actually need this height, but it's just a little bit safer. So that's what I like to do. And then for this last part, I'm going to go to a very specific spot on the ground. This little indent on this ground. And then I'm going to go neutral on the stick. Throw Cappy, throw Cappy, throw Cappy. 3 times. And as long as I'm neutral on the stick, you'll hit those purple hats and then the white hat. 1, 2, 3. 1. Perfect. He does 3 tail swipes and then 1 there. And I kind of just have that memorized. We're going to jump with Mario to wake him up. And we're going to capture Bowser for this final stretch of the run that's called Escape. And I couldn't skip that cutscene there, my bad. We're going to shake with Bowser to spew some fireballs here to break down this wall. And then once we get close, we'll just claw it. We're going to shoot fireballs here to kind of avoid some of the rocks, break some of them, so they're not an issue. Double jump and then a claw to get enough height to make it up here a little bit quicker. And it's just safer because you have to dodge those rocks, so that's what I like to do. And then we can kind of just enter this 2D section. There is a skip for this 2D section where you can kind of climb the outside of it, but it's risky. If you fail it, you die. There's another skip inside this 2D section right here that skips this a long way around, but again, if you fail it, you die, so it's risky. Not going to do it. And then we're just going to climb this. We're going to break some blocks, make a little staircase for me to climb here nice and safely. This part's pretty textbook. This is like the same way you do it casually, so. Or you'd see it in a speedrun, so. Yeah, same thing. We're going to shoot some fireballs to break down this wall and then claw it once we get close. And then there's going to be a rock falling on my head right there, so I'm going to dodge it. Now, typically in a speedrun, for pillars, you'd break down the pillars with fireballs. But there's lots of rocks on the ground that I gotta dodge, so I'm gonna go up to the pillars and claw them down slower, because that's safer. And I have to dodge less rocks than I have a kind of specific route that I follow for pillars that I know is safe. I like to get right here on this pillar, because I know I can't get hit by any rocks there on the ground. And then I like to come up to this pillar, and then there's a shadow. I'm going to wait for it to disappear and the rock to break. Then I'm going to go in and claw this one. Then I'm going to go over here. Then I'll shoot some fireballs at this one, just to speed up the process a little bit, because it's safe too. And then I'm going to claw it twice. I do want to finish it off with claws though, because that gives me the cycle I want of rocks on the ground. Then I'm going to go underneath this one, claw it just like this. Have the rock break. I'm going to go behind this tumble right here. And then I'm going to claw this final rock. Going to the middle because I saw shadows there. Okay, yeah. Rocks fall there. There we go. Perfect. Enter the pylon, and then that is Damageless World of Peace completed in 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 33 seconds. So well under my estimate of 145 to 150. Well under it. And yeah, from this point, if you were going to try to go for all the moons, you have the reason to get World Peace, I guess I should say, is because you unlock all the moon rocks in the game. Killing every boss in the game is a requirement to be able to break all the moon rocks. So that's the reason. If you're doing a Damageless all moons speedrun, from here you would go into post game and just collect the rest of moons in the game. And I actually have a tutorial for collecting all the sub-area moons, if anyone is interested in that. There's lots of resources available for the Damageless category. Me and teammate Dan have provided a ton of resources. We're the two most active runners for sure. Teammate Dan has 2 Damageless all moons completions, and I'm currently working towards my first Damageless all moons completion. And yeah, that's it for this speedrun. Thank you for watching. I hope I did a good job going in depth and explaining all the bosses, or at least as I could, while live commentating the speedrun. Because this was not post-commentary. I was recording this commentary live as I was doing the run. I think that was pretty obvious, though. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this run gets accepted. This was a very fun and good showcase of the category. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
Gonna start